And welcome in to the Wheelhouse here, Elevation 5280 Sports and Lifestyle. We are with you every Sunday morning here on Elevation 5280 Sports. And Matt is back this morning. Matt, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful. I was kind of sick this week, so I was battling a sickness this week. So I don't know why I just went that like that with my hand, but we fight through it. I made it to the weekend, so I feel a lot better today. So I'm ready to get into it. A lot of basketball stuff going on. I guess there's football. I don't know. Um, and I mean, we were talking a little earlier, just basketball, man. A lot of basketball.
Yeah, and good basketball.
Yep.
It's usually the other way around for me, Matt. Usually I'm like, screw basketball, it's football season. But this year, Matt, I've been the complete opposite. It is 100% basketball season right now. We were even talking about the dog butt game that was Thursday night between the Bears and Panthers. Bears got I don't know if it's a much needed win, but they needed to beat the Panthers because they own the Panthers' number one pick. So Bears could potentially have the first two picks in next year's draft.
Wild.
And we'll get into that here in a second because I want to get into some Justin Fields talk as well. And yeah, just a lot of basketball. It's hockey season, NCAA football winding down. So maybe we'll get into some early bowl previews, the college football playoff, and things of that nature as well. So a lot to get into. And I don't know why I just noticed this, Matt, but on your X Gon' Give It To You background, I just noticed that it's some old school Nuggets guys. And I don't know why it took me this long to notice it, but I love it because uh,
Yep.
I noticed that you have Lennis Kleza and Eduardo Nahara, and then randomly Allen Iverson.
Yep. You like that? I can't even remember where I found that picture, but I saw it and I was like, I gotta add that to my camera, and I want to have it printed out so I can hang it up here because those are like three of the most obscure nuggets
It might
that
be the most random Nuggets picture I've
yeah.
ever seen.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like it's crazy that those three guys are in the same picture at the same time in that moment. And like one of my all time, like you throw them up there, three of my favorite Nuggets, however you want to look at it, eras, time period, whatever. Just we all loved Eddie. We all loved Lennis Kleza. We all loved AI. So yeah. That's I'm glad you noticed it. I like that picture.
Was who was obviously Jokic is one of one, Matt, but who was Jokic on the Nuggets before Jokic? Was it Lennis? Was it Eddie Naj? Who was it?
Man, it's like a mix because you can look at Nahara, remember, or not Nahara, but oh, we were just talking about him last week. I just Nene. We can look at Nene as being, like I think you could. I think him. I would say him being the first, and then yeah, you look at Kleza, you look at Nahara. Kind of. Do you think Gallinari a little bit? Maybe, kind of, sorta.
Maybe Danilo.
But I
But
would say I would go Nene like right off the bat. He was our first kind of unicorn player.
yeah, and well, not to be racist, Matt. I was trying to think of big clumsy white dudes to compare.
I got you. I got you.
That's why I said Kleza
I got you.
or
I
Eddie.
got you.
But
Oh, I mean, you could go all the way back to LaFrance. LaFrance was
Rafe,
Gold Rafer. Even Skeets. Oh, Skeets wasn't. I don't know if Skeets was as clumsy as as you could think. Maybe he was a little bit
I mean, I
more
guess if we're
athletic.
doing that, we can go back to Kiki as well. So
We could go all the way, and then Issel
Scott
was
Hastings,
he real
because
athletics?
Hastings is
Hastings,
a big clumsy white dude.
Hastings wants a piece.
Yeah. So, all right. Yeah, I just wanted to get that out. Also, by the way, good news in the entertainment industry, Matt. The writer strike is
Oh,
over. So, what was that? 3-4 months of just crap and people not being able to talk about projects and stuff like that. So,
yeah.
we should be getting new releases here pretty soon. I was watching, by the way, Tom Hiddleston on on Jimmy Fallon, Matt. I don't. Have you watched any of the new Loki season?
I have not. No.
No. Okay. I'm a couple episodes behind, but I guess he hinted at this is the end for good old Tom as Loki. He said this is a
Really?
he said he's been Loki for 14 years. By the way, didn't know it was that long.
Wow.
Obviously, he dating back to the very first Avengers movie, and then he said this kind of wraps up his life as Loki. So I don't know
Interesting.
what that means, but it's been a good season so far. The episodes.
Yeah. What? That's that because he's been Loki. I like, and he's been a good Loki too. Like I haven't thought at any point where it's like, oh, this dude's not Loki, or this they need to get a different Loki in any way, shape, or form. So that's interesting. And now you said that about they're starting to release things. My son is crazy about Ghostbusters, and we just noticed that there's a new Ghostbuster release out. They just released a trailer. Maybe we were behind on this, but I just started seeing it now, and it looks pretty freaking good. So, like you said, there's a lot of stuff that's probably gonna start getting released now.
Yeah, speaking of releases, a lot of content will be coming out here on our stuff, Matt. As go check out Fantasy Talk with Tom, episode 9. That came out before Thursday Night Football. Kind of a little late to the party, posting it on social media, but that is available wherever you get your podcast. Becky's Corner, she has a new episode. I haven't quite posted that up just quite yet. In the middle of that as we speak. And then we have a new esports podcast, Matt, and I still don't know how to pronounce it, but it'll be on the front page. 40K do Fromage. I'm assuming
Nice.
is how you pronounce it, with Jameson. So go check that out as well. Episode 2 will be posted here very, very shortly. So go to e5280sports.com for all of those as well. And of course, the guys over at Undrafted Uncensored, they drop 2 pods a week, and they're starting to do them live. So
killing it.
Go check them out as well, and hopefully more stuff to come. So go to e5280sports.com. Go to our Facebook, our X, formerly known as Twitter. Go to Instagram. Go to and subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. But Matt, yeah, a lot of basketball to get into as because we've touched on it before the season started, and we got each other's thoughts on the in-season tournament, mid-season tournament, whatever you want to call it. But now, Matt, that it has begun, how are you liking it? Because a lot of mixed reaction on the courts, on the new City Edition jerseys, because dating back the last couple of years, they'd wear the City Edition jerseys, every few games here and there. But now they're only wearing the new City Edition jerseys for these Tuesday and Friday night in-season tournament games. They changed the court all around. They're playing for the NBA Cup, which, by the way, let's think of a better name besides the NBA Cup. Greg, who was subbing in for you last week, we were trying to think of, is it the what is the MVP trophy called nowadays? Is that the Bill Russell Award, or is that the NBA Finals MVP? Or is it the Kobe? Kobe's the All-Star Game MVP, I think.
Isn't it the Jordan Award? Didn't they make Michael Jordan?
I don't know. I
thought they just did that last year. Let's get our crack staff to look that. Hey, get on that.
Yeah. So, but anyway, I think it's the Michael Jordan Trophy is the NBA MVP. What's the Kobe Bryant Trophy then? Is that the All-Star Game MVP?
Must be the All-Star Game MVP. Must be.
Yeah, zero research, all reaction. Research on the fly. So, I mean, what is your thoughts so far? We've seen a couple games now for this in-season tournament. What do you make of the courts? What do you make of the jerseys? Just do you like the setup as we'll be down in Vegas next month for the battle for the NBA Cup? Before you say anything, I want to say it reminds me of soccer because it's called group play, stages, just the whole setup reminds me of soccer. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but it reminds me a lot of soccer. And what would be a good name for this NBA Cup?
I mean, we have to figure out what exactly it's hard to name things anymore because you have to come up with a name before you have the deal so you can know what you're going for. But as far as the overall tournament, the courts, I'm really I have to get used to that. I love the city, the uniforms, the jerseys. I like that aspect of it. I really do. I've always liked those when they have those alternate jerseys like that in the past for special situations, and using them for this is pretty cool. The courts, I got to get used to. I got to say, I don't like it. Right now, I don't like it, man. There's a lot of color to it. There's a lot of things that jump out to you as far as the court goes, and it's taking some getting used to. So from that aspect of it, it's tough to watch, but once I get going and get used to it, like I feel like there's some competitive basketball. You're seeing the players like kind of get up for it. They look forward to, hey, this is a tournament game. Like I've been watching and keeping track on it, like when these tournament games are. They're here, they're there, they're the courts and all that stuff. So I'm kind of keeping track. I'm keeping up with it. I don't know what to call it though. Like the NBA Cup, the mid-season rumble, like the turkey, maybe they call it the turkey cup. I don't know, because
Christmas Cup,
the Christmas Cup,
Santa Claus Cup. If you're going to name it after somebody, just like all the other awards.
Yeah, I mean,
the Kris Kringle Cup,
the holiday, yeah, something, you know. I mean, and is it an actual? Is the trophy? I haven't seen the trophy. I got to be honest. Is it an actual cup?
I don't know. I don't know if you can drink out of it.
So, I mean, if it's not an actual
cup, the Stanley Cup, you can drink out of.
Right. If it's not an actual cup, then I don't think it should be called a cup. So, like, let's start there. If it's like I said, I haven't seen it. If it's an actual cup, then yeah, I guess the NBA Cup is right there. The NBA Chalice, maybe instead of cup, go with chalice. I don't know, but yeah, that's the courts, man. The courts are the biggest negative right now for me, and they could have did something. I understand what they're going for. They're trying to make it really individual, but the solid colors, that's just it's bugging me. It's bugging me. I'm watching them. I'm watching the game still, but it's bugging me.
By the way, the MVP also, the NBA MVP also is the Michael Jordan Trophy, which we got into that. The All-Star Game MVP is the Kobe Bryant Trophy, and the NBA Finals MVP is the Bill Russell Award. So, I wonder what the NBA Cup MVP is going to be called. So all these names, Matt, I don't know. Maybe if Jokic wins the first ever in-season tournament championship MVP, maybe they'll just call it the Joker Award. I don't know.
The Joker. I wouldn't be shocked if a lot of things be changed to the Joker Award the way that dude's going, man. Holy smokes.
Yeah. By the way, is it savagery to say that this Nuggets team is better than last year's team?
No, it's not. It's
last year's team. Obviously, the bench was led by a lot of veteran guys. You know, you had Jeff Green, you had Bruce Brown. By the way, good luck, Bruce Brown, in Indiana. And you have younger guys coming off the bench now, Matt. You have the Peyton Watsons. You have, obviously, Christian Brown is still coming off the bench. He needs to work on his shooting, by the way. And, you know, guys like, especially with the Jamal Murray injury now, you have Reggie, who we wanted this Reggie to be the Reggie last year, but Reggie's looking good. Now he's going to be thrust into the starting. Colin Gillespie is getting time, Matt. And, you know, obviously staggering Aaron Gordon's minutes. Jokic, it's funny to see Jokic out there with a bunch of the young guys.
With the pups. Yeah, the thing with this Nuggets team this season, last year's Nuggets team, it took them, I felt like December, January for them to really start clicking. And then, you know, Zeke got hurt, and then Aaron Gordon got hurt a little bit. So then they kind of went into a little lull there, you know, February, March, and going out to close out the season. We all remember how that kind of shook out. But Bruce Brown didn't get going until later in the beginning of the first part of the season, like not till December, January. So So he wasn't firing on all cylinders early. Like that bench was still kind of the Nuggets. The starters would go out, and that bench would give up the lead that those starters built up. This year's different because when Joker goes out, the lead could be 5 or 6. Joker comes back in, it's 12. So that is something that's huge. That's a lot different than last year that we weren't seeing. And yeah, it goes to all those guys you mentioned. Reggie Jackson is somebody that they were really looking to really fill that sixth man off the bench situation, or that next point guard, that next guard up in the lineup. Because I don't know if you really look at Bruce Brown and say he's a pure point or a point or a one specifically. Jackson is that, he is that one that's going to come in and run the point in case a situation like this, like what we're in with Jamal being out. They're bringing the rookies along really well. Peyton Watson, oh my gosh, that dude, like you still don't want to get too excited because it's still early. It's still, you want to see him do it through the whole season. You want to see him get in the playoffs and do it, but how else are you going to see that unless he does it? So we're really excited. I'm super excited about that. But like you said, they're humming early. They're rolling. Everything that they're doing, the buttons they're pushing are going well. And this is one of those bumps in the road, you can call it. Jamal Murray's out. He's going to be out for the rest of this month, it looks like. This is a bump in the road. Can the Nuggets survive? Can they stay doing what they're doing? And it looks like they are so far. So they're 8-1, best team in the league, best team in the West anyway. But I think they're the best team in the league for sure. So yeah, it's exciting. This beginning of the season, man, big time.
Right. And by the way, here's the picture of the NBA chalice, and it does look like it has a little bowl there, so maybe you can drink out of it. I don't know.
I see it does. It looks like a bird bath, doesn't it?
A little
See,
bit.
it's maybe we should call it the bird bath, the NBA bird bath award or cup, midseason bird bath. I don't know.
Yeah,
It
it's
looks
weird.
like a chalice. That looks like yeah, yeah, that doesn't look like it. Well, what does the World Cup, the soccer cup look like? Doesn't it kind of look like that?
I'm not sure, honestly. But yeah, I mean, they got to think of a better name if they're obviously this is just kind of, I don't want to say thrown together, Matt. The World
It
Cup
feels like it.
Yeah, it kind of feels like it. The World Cup trophy, by the way, is, I don't know what it has on it as I'm trying to save a picture.
Or you got to save it and then yeah.
But it's a little bit different. It's not an actual cup. I don't even know what it's called. It's called the FIFA World Cup trophy, I'm assuming. But it that does not have a cup on it, and it looks way smaller than the NBA Cup.
Isn't it like a big ball? Like it's like somebody's holding a lot of things are holding a big ball. It kind of looks like.
Yeah, it looks like a. I don't even know how to describe this thing. It looks super small though. But
yeah, I don't think I'm down with calling trophies cups if they're not actual cups. Like the Ryder Cup, you mentioned the Stanley Cup, you can drink out of those. The Winston Cup, you can drink out of the Winston Cup. It's not called the Winston Cup anymore, but I don't even know what it's called now. But it was the FedEx Cup. I think it's the FedEx Cup. That's NASCAR. That's NASCAR. We only turn left. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that accent. Well, actually, I did.
If you're not first, you're last.
If you're not first, you're last.
Here's the FIFA World Cup trophy, which is not a cup, but yeah.
Yeah, see, that
looks like a first grader put some paper mache together.
That's awful. I thought it was a lot cleaner. That's awful. That's just soccer do better. That just made me hate soccer even more.
I still think that the Stanley Cup is probably
the
best trophy in all of sports.
I agree.
Not only that, you get your name, you get your team name and your name etched into it every time a team wins. You get your name and team name and everything etched into it. And just to think, Matt, way back in God knows when the NBA or the NHL started giving that little, it started as that little cup on the top, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
So, and by the way, you can even drink out of a protective cup. So yeah, to start calling these things cups is absurd.
when you can't actually drink out of it and use it as a cup. Don't call it a cup if you can't actually drink out of it.
It looks
unless there's some other meaning behind calling it a cup. I don't know.
Yeah, and I do actually like have you seen the NBA in-season tournament, NBA Cup, whatever commercial? Have you seen that? I actually like that.
I have. Yeah. Yep.
Because it has like that Ocean's 11 vibe to it. It has the dude from The Sopranos on it. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it's a pretty cool commercial. I don't know why they have Anthony Davis in it, but they probably asked Jokic if he wanted to be in it, and he was like, "No, thank you."
A racehorse. I had a racehorse.
The horse in it.
There's a horse.
By the way,
and they could have had him like they gotta real quick. I don't want to go on a super tangent, but people are like complaining that Joker's not in these commercials because he declines doing blah blah blah. Well, they should come to him with some options that like go his way.
Yeah, suit his lifestyle, or
put him in the buggy with the horse and have him do something like that. I'm sure he would get a kick out of that.
Like if you're racing towards the NBA Cup, have him and I don't know, Jamal Murray or Aaron Gordon or whoever in a little buggy, being by a horse, and then have
everybody chasing him. Like have everybody else chasing him. Yeah,
I'm sure something. Guys like Luka or I don't even know who else. I'm just trying to name friends of Jokic in the league. Have Jokic or Vujacic from the Bulls. I'm sure they would do a commercial like that.
I'm sure. I agree. Like if that's the thing. If you're not coming at him with things that fit what they're doing and what he does, then don't complain that he's not in there. But I don't know if that's happening. But I've seen a lot of people saying he can't be the face of the league. He can't be the best player in the world because he's not doing commercials. It's like that's crazy. That's crazy.
And also,
I get it, but it's crazy.
And also, shame on the NBA for. I mean, I don't know. He's one of your biggest stars, right?
Yes, he is for sure.
And the NBA usually does a good job of marketing their stars.
Yeah.
Hence the mid-season, in-season, whatever you want to call it, tournament commercial, which I do like. Again, I don't know why Anthony Davis is in it. Is he still playing on even days, or is he out?
No, he's out. He's got a hip. Well, no, I felt like he played Friday, but he's had a hip issue. Maybe
he'll only play Tuesdays and Fridays for
the
group stages.
Yep, he might be only playing the group stage, and he might not make the final stage roster though. I don't know. They're still keeping an eye on it though.
Yeah.
So
he's Speaking of yeah, it's crazy.
That's crazy.
I don't know. I mean, he's just one of those dudes. And then of course they finally get a win, Matt, against Phoenix. And, it doesn't even count towards the regular season because it was on Friday. And as you mentioned, he may have played Friday. Zero research, all reaction. And, of course, they make a big deal out of it. And then LeBron hurt his little ankle, so they're monitoring that. I told you, Matt, at the beginning of the season when they announced that LeBron was only going to play 28 minutes a game, I was like, yeah, wait till they start losing or an injury. And now, Matt, he's been averaging 35 minutes a game. Over the last 4 games, so that lasted long.
Oh, it's ridiculous, man. It's crazy how, because I think we talked. Yeah, we were sitting there talking about like how long that's going to last, and it's not conducive to hold him out, to keep him, put him on those minute restrictions the way he is, because he's the only thing that's working over there with the Lakers, and it's crazy how I think he's averaging 30 plus 33 minutes or like up there. He played 36 minutes on Friday night. Anthony Davis did play. He played 36 minutes, 18 points, 11 rebounds. But what they're doing there and with the Lakers, it all depends on LeBron James. There's nobody else there. Again, like it's so funny. I'm not even looking at him anymore and saying if he does this, if he does that, because he is who he is. He's going to do what he does. So there's no if. LeBron James is going to have to play this many minutes at his age is right. But what is he, 38, 39, something like that? He's going to have to do this in order for this team to have any success this season. And it's crazy. It's crazy that Anthony Davis, who was thought to be one of the best players, there's still people that think he's He's the best defender in the league, and he's the best player in the league, which is crazy.
Yeah, and don't look now, but the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Houston Rockets are both on 5-game winning streaks. Houston started the season, Matt, 0-5 and have, or 0-3, excuse me, and have won 5 in a row, one including against the Los Angeles Lakers. So you have that
hammered them.
Yeah,
hammered them.
And I don't know if you saw the stare down with Dillon Brooks. Dillon Brooks is, by the way, leading the NBA in 3-point percentage. How is that possible?
I don't know. That guy is so, what do they call it? Cringy. He's so, that dude, man. That dude. But yeah, Udoka's got those guys going, man. And I said that the Minnesota Timberwolves, if they figure out what they're doing, if they figure out how they're going to do it, whatever it is, if it's the two bigs and Anthony Edwards running around, that Anthony Edwards is one of those guys that can be like he's got the capability to be probably one of the best players in the NBA if he keeps going the way he's going. I'm scared. If I'm a Nuggets fan, I'm scared to death of that team because of what they did last year and then what they've already done. They've already beat the Nuggets.
Yeah, the one loss on Denver's record is the Minnesota Timberwolves. Looking at the Western Conference, by the way, man, obviously Denver. It goes Denver, Dallas, Minnesota, Houston, Golden State, Oklahoma City, and then for the in-season or the play-in turn, all these tournaments now is getting me confused. For the I'm already getting it wrong. For the play-in tournament, Sacramento, Lakers, Phoenix, New Orleans, Pelicans, and then on the outside looking in, we'll get into the Clippers here in a second. Clippers, Portland, Spurs, Utah, and of course Memphis is in last place. They finally just got their first win the other day. So looking at Memphis on the outside, looking in, and going back to the Clippers, they make that trade for James Harden and have not won a game in the James Harden era. I think we may have talked about it, or I was telling people that Clippers got worse by acquiring James Harden from the Phil. I don't know why all these teams keep doing what this dude wants and sending him to places he wants to go. And I want to play this clip for, I don't know if you saw, did you see the Mavs announcer?
Yeah,
go
I
off
did.
on him?
Yes.
I do want to play this real quickly here. Yeah, and then he threw the old mic drop down, Matt. So that was probably gonna botch his name, but Brian Damaris, the Mavs play-by-play guy apparently, or Mavs announcer. Devin Harris, by the way, the old basketball player who used to play on the Mavericks, was up there as well. But he has a point, Matt. I mean, that was straight facts right there. And I liked how he said you're going to go home and swipe right for another team, and there's going to be nobody left. Again, I just mentioned it. I don't know why these teams keep doing what this guy wants and sending him to places he wants to go. And look, Matt, 0-4 with the Clippers. You really think he was going to mesh again with Russell Westbrook, with Paul George, with Kawhi Leonard? No.
I don't understand it either, and I don't understand how everybody keeps taking the bait like he goes here, it's going to be different. I watch when he gets here. This is what he's going to do. This is what he's going to bring. There's some that are coming around and saying, "Oh, it's going to be worse. It's going to be bad." It's like going down that road too. But there's still the mindset of you send him somewhere, or you put a superstar with another team full of superstars, and it's going to be just fine. It's his best option was to stay in Philadelphia and make that work with whatever they were doing there. But he got so upset with whatever happened with Morey. I don't know exactly how that all went down, but I mean, you can go and read it and do research on it and stuff. It's all out there. It's just, but yeah, Mike, I don't understand how, and poor Ty Lue, like the head coach of the Clippers, has to deal with, he's got to deal with this. He's got to, he's a chef, he's got to make something out of this. That old lime turning chicken bleep into chicken salad. I don't know if you can have, I don't know what he's going to do with that. He might lose his job. He's a good coach, man. And this team is pretty good. They didn't need to do that. They didn't need to do this. And I don't know why the owner did that of the Clippers. I don't know why you would even, I thought everything, the talks were dead. I thought it was over because they didn't want to give up that. It's crazy that they keep doing this, and somebody's going to do it again it's going to be a different player. Kevin Durant might get traded again this year. I don't know. It's going to happen again, which is the sad part about it. So it's just, I don't understand. I don't understand why that's the only thing that can be positive. And I guess this is what the Clippers are looking at is when the inevitable fact that Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Russell Westbrook are hurt and out for some considerable amount of time. They're hoping that what James Harden does can get them through until they get healthy and back. So I guess that's a thought, that's a mindset of what they're trying to do. I don't know exactly, but it's crazy that you can have that type of person on your team and just be like, all right. And I don't know how many times if you've seen Kawhi Leonard talk about it, Paul George in press conferences or in post game conferences, talk about how we have to. They've lost 4 in a row. How they got to find new ways to score. And then even James Harden said, it's going to take me about 10 games to get used to this. I mean, that's what we're doing now. That's what we're banking on. Like, again, poor Ty Lue, who's a good coach. I really think he's a good coach, a good basketball coach. It's just crazy.
Yeah. And then you have to say, I need 10 games to get up to speed here in LA. Of course, he says that after they've lost 4 in a row. And then, right, his introductory press conference, it was kind of taken out of context, Matt. If you watch the whole press conference, everyone just took that one little clip out, him saying, I'm not a system player. I am the system. Yeah. It was kind of taken out of context, but still you're saying, you're basically saying the system runs through me. I'm the vocal point and stuff like that. So is it a coincidence, by the way, that the Clippers have lost 4 in a row and the 76ers have won 7 in a row now? Philadelphia, by the way, looking at the Eastern Conference, 7-1. Boston, Indiana. I was just kidding about good luck in Indiana, Bruce Brown. Indiana 6-3, Miami 5-4, Atlanta 5-4, Orlando 5-4. Maybe a surprise here, Matt. The Milwaukee Bucks 5-4, and they are sitting. Of course, Matt. We're only 9-10 games through the season. Obviously, this isn't the NFL. You still have 70 something games left. So again, right, take this with a grain of salt. Milwaukee, the Knicks, Cleveland, Brooklyn, all right now sitting in that play-in tournament, and then Toronto, Charlotte, Chicago, Washington, and Detroit sitting on the outside looking in. But I don't know if there's a coincidence, Matt, that Clippers 4-game losing streak, Philadelphia started the season 0-1, have rattled off 7 in a row.
Yeah, I mean, there's something to it. I mean, Maxi has come out playing lights out this season, and he's doing everything that people in Philly wanted him to do, need him to do, and he's going crazy. And a lot of people are pointing a finger at, yeah, that's because that guy James Harden's not there no more, and he's gone. And that whether if there's an attitude change, there's a cloud that's gone. There's a ball stop, because that's the way it goes with the way James Harden plays basketball. So him being and Joel's going off. He's still scoring at a high clip. What's he averaging, like 30 some points? So it's crazy. He's still going to do the things that he does, but the way Joel Embiid plays is he likes to hang around the outside too. Yeah, he'll go to the block, but he likes to hang around the outside. And when Harden was there, Harden did the same thing. So then you almost have a 5-out situation with your big at the top of the key, just hanging around there. In this sense, with Maxi, it's more, he's more of a go at the rim and get his shot that way, which moves things up to for Embiid to shoot the ball, Embiid to get to the free throw line like he likes to do. So it opens a lot of things up for Philly, and for sure, it's not a coincidence that Phillies look doing this without James Harden there. It's just crazy that they had to fire. And I'm not saying Nick Nurse isn't a good coach, but they had to fire Doc Rivers. And could you think this whole thing could have been saved if they just traded Harden like they plan to trade him, but just get rid of him in the first place and still keep Doc around? I mean, maybe that could have worked. I don't know, but it's kind of crazy that the biggest problem here was James Harden, it looks like, and you got rid of Doc, and you could have kept him around, but you got rid of him. So maybe that if you could look at that, I don't know if they're talking about that in Philadelphia. I'd be curious to know that.
Yeah, and then reminder too that there was talks of a reunion in Houston for James Harden.
Right.
And I don't know if it's a coincidence that Houston is sitting pretty right now in the Western Conference. So, by the way, if you're looking at the top 10 points per game averages, Luka number one, just under 33 points per game. That you mentioned Joel Cry for MVP Embiid. He is sitting right at 31.9. And then it goes Kevin Durant, Stephen Curry, Donovan Mitchell, Jokic, Giannis, SGA, Anthony Edwards, and then Jason Tatum rounds out your top 10 in scoring right now in the NBA. And Jason Tatum, who's number 10 at 27.7 points per game. So it just seems like the stars for every team, Matt, right now is doing what they're supposed to be doing. And I don't know if you saw finally the premiere, the debut of Bradley Beal in Phoenix, finally playing. All three of them still haven't played together, but Kevin Durant's trying his best, Matt, just over 30 points per game so far through 9 games of the regular season.
And he's another guy that you got to look at, like LeBron. How can he keep doing this? Can he play all these minutes? Like he's also a guy that came to this, that's also looking for help. That's also looking for the other two stars or superstars to really help him out, because I don't know if he can handle that or do this anymore. So that's another question for Durant. How long can he do this whole season?
Does it help that he's a twig and LeBron is way thicker?
That's exactly what I was going to go there too next with that. The body types, the body styles too. Like it looks like
the same height.
They're around the same height, but like you said, yeah, LeBron like is more sturdy and can get through it. But like you got to think Kevin Durant's on the same kind of mindset when it comes to keeping his body healthy. So maybe that lighter frame can get through and not take as much a punishment as that bigger, heavier frame. But it could be the reverse. That bigger, heavier frame could take more punishment than the smaller, frailer one. I don't know. Poor guy.
By the way,
eat a hamburger, KD. I'm just kidding. I'm sure you eat plenty of hamburgers.
By the way, we mentioned LeBron James minutes. He's averaging now 35 minutes a game, through 9 games. I told you that wouldn't last.
Right. And what was their plan? It was like
28,
26, 28, 28.
26 to 28, I think was their goal.
So that was with his trainer. That was all talked about. And that's the thing with the Lakers, man. It's and then you saw whether it was looked at as to make the team better. Cam Reddish started and Austin Reeves sat. Austin Reeves, I thought, was going to be a huge part of what the Lakers are going to do or need to do going forward to be real successful. They gave him a lot of money. He was even proclaiming that he was that dude, and then now he's coming off the bench. Now, is that a big deal? Maybe, maybe not, but it's something to look at. The Lakers, man, they're the way that they had things, the way that they had things going, or they thought they were going to do things, and I don't think Ham is in a good place. I don't think he's able to do what he wants to do. I think LeBron might be pushing in more on wanting to do the things the way LeBron wants to do things. And then there might be some pushback from the top. Hey, we got to start doing things the way LeBron wants to do them. But so I'm curious to see how that works. I don't know if that's all happening, but from the outside looking in, that's what it kind of looks like. There's some and I don't know if you've seen these, Mike, the mic'd up with LeBron talking about going throughout the game. It's really awesome and fascinating, and it shows you how smart that dude is. But he's also like taking over the game in certain situations. I'm not saying superstars don't do that, but that's just something to kind of look and keep an eye on as this season plays out. And if LeBron's minutes keep going up, it's gonna get more. If I'm doing all the work, then I'm going to make all the decisions kind of mindset potentially.
Well, I think he's always had that. I don't want to say control. By the way, did you see his comments about he said he would still be a dominant player without the 4 years in Miami? He would just have less rings.
Yeah. And did you see everybody destroy him for saying that? Because it's like, you're not in the GOAT conversation without Miami, dude. You're not in that conversation without Miami. So relax. Yeah, and that's why I can't get with that guy as the GOAT. That's why it's so hard for me to get with that dude, because he says stuff like that. Not saying that Mike didn't say stuff like that in the past, but it was different. We're coming from Mike because of what he's done. LeBron is trying to take out a part of his history and say he'd be the same person without it. That's crazy.
If you're Miami, are you pissed? Are you saying, wait a minute?
I would be.
You chose to come here. You know, Dwayne Wade kind of put his ego aside and said, no, this is your team for however long you want to be here. And, you know, Chris Bosh kind of put himself to the side and said, no, this is the Queen's team right now. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. It's fascinating. And by the way, you know, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, maybe Jordan said it more after he retired. Obviously, if you watch The Last Dance,
right,
was a cocky SOB. But he didn't really say that during his playing career. Neither did Kobe. They more let their games do the talking during their career. Maybe afterwards they said, you really heard nothing from Kobe. He never said anything about himself. They asked him if he wants to take load management, take days off. He said no. What about the family that can barely afford tickets, who pay for seats way up in the nosebleeds? What if they come to a game that's the only game they can afford to come to all year, and then I'm not playing? He's like, no.
Right.
The only time Kobe missed games is when he literally could not walk on his Achilles rupture. Remember that? And he still shot the free throws. And like I said, at the Nuggets opening night, Matt, they showed LeBron on the big screen, and everyone booed him, of course. And then he looked up and saw himself on the big screen, heard the boos, and did this, like he put on his little tiara.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, Matt. It's just
it's wild, man. It's and like I said, that's how come like guys like me and you, it's tough for us to get with that guy. We can respect everything that he does on the court and how impactful and how dominant he is with the things he does there. But and you also flip back, like the reason why he wanted to leave Miami or he left was because of Pat Riley, the way I understand it. And if that's a reason why, let's flip back to see all that we now we're seeing all the Last Dance, all that stuff that Mike went through with the names skipping my mind now, with the GM there, Krause, Yeah, with Jerry, like you could tell he couldn't stand that guy, but he knew. But the arrogance of Michael
I
Jordan was
think.
like, you need me here.
Well, I think they
I'm
all. I think they all. Sorry to interrupt. I think they
yeah,
all
yeah.
kind of stayed together to try to win in spite of that dude.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was going to get to. Like that guy wants to, with the getting involved with the oh shoot, the dude's skipping my name now. Bringing the guy over from overseas.
Kukoc.
What's it? Kukoc. When they were talking about that he's trying to add and make it better, and Mike's and these guys are like, nah, we don't need that dude. We don't need that. Instead, LeBron would be like, yeah, we need to get this guy over here. We need to get this guy over. It would have been a different mindset. It was a different situation. These guys nowadays, they leave situations. They want to get out of places because they have disagreements or they don't like the way the ownership's running the program. They want to leave instead of do it like you said in spite, get together as a team, the coaching staff, all this. Like, hey, you're telling me right now you're going to trade or you're going to get rid of one of the best players in the world. You're going to choose this guy over, that's kind of situation I felt like Mike was putting Jerry back in or in those places back in the day instead of running away. And if you saw the Redeem Team on Netflix, there was a scene there where it was LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Carmelo Anthony, but it was mainly LeBron and Dwayne. And they were coming in from the club. Kobe Bryant was going to the gym while they were coming in from the club, like 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. And those two, particularly on Dwayne Wade's, advice, were like, hey, we're coming in from the club. This guy's going to the gym. And so the next day, and it started to go the next week, they were going to the gym with Kobe. They were meeting Kobe at the gym at that time and getting better. So they took that next step then. Obviously, Carmelo didn't take that next step. He even said in that, I don't know if you watched it, he even said, nah, that's too early for me. That told you everything about Carmelo there, but there was just things that he needed that he got from that Miami squad, Dwayne Wade in particular, that to take away that and to say you're still going to be the greatest, even if you didn't have that, is crazy.
By the way, LeBron has said this too. By the way, he said, obviously he didn't go to college. He went from high school to the pros. He even said going to Miami was like going to college for him. He got his 4 years of learning, 4 years of getting better, 4 years of growing up, and then to kind of, again, maybe taking it out of context a little bit, to discredit his time in Miami. And again, saying discredit for lack of a better term. And here's the tweet, by the way. It was Legion Hoops on X that said LeBron says he'd still be just as dominant if he never went to the Miami Heat, per Anthony Shang. I don't know how to say that guy's last name. So LeBron are we still saying retweeted or are we re-Xing it now?
I think it's repost. Okay. If we're being at like to their how they call it, I think it's repost.
Well, I'm going to say re-Xed. So LeBron
re-Xed is better. I agree.
So LeBron re-Xed that tweet and said, "You damn right, I still would be. I'm chosen." So there's the proclamation, self-proclamation right there. Chosen in all caps, by the way. Ain't nothing changed, maybe less rings, but dominant in all caps from start to finish, with, of course, his little tiara. So there you go. I mean, self-proclaimed proclamation. I don't know how to say that word. How do you say
proclamation?
Self-proclaimed. Whatever titles, the king, chosen one. He has a big back tattoo, Matt, that says chosen one.
I know.
I think he got that in high school, if I'm not mistaken. So he was doing this since a young pup. So
yeah, he was chosen. He was chosen, man. Like it's so crazy. That's why guys like us can't get with him. That's why, because of that, and it's because of all of that extra. Like that, I'm chosen, I'm this, I'm that guy. I putting your crown on when you're getting booed after, and then it's just crazy. It's just wild that dude still.
Yeah, still going off about himself and stuff like that. So it is crazy to see tweets like that, to see comments like that, and everything else. So I don't know what we do with good old LBJ, but the Lakers will keep an eye on them all season long. So Matt disconnected. I'm not sure where he is at the moment, but he is floating in space right now as we are going to try to dive into our major league, or excuse me, our NFL rundown really quickly here, get you some fantasy implications and stuff like that. So, a lot to get to. Week 10 already in the NFL. If you're wondering, there is a game, the NFL Frankfurt games. If you're wondering about that, it is 7-3. The Colts lead the Patriots over in Germany. That game got started about almost an hour and a half ago, and so 11 seconds left in that second quarter as we officially have lost Matt in the screen there. If you're wondering about the Thursday night game, we touched on it just a little bit. 16-3. The Bears got the win over the Carolina Panthers, and we touched on that too. Can the Bears steal away the Panthers' number one pick away from that one? So we will keep an eye on that. So the Bears could potentially have back-to-back picks, number one and number two, in the NFL draft, which is crazy. Is Justin Fields done? That is a big question for Chicago. The young rookie, the D2 rookie, seems to be playing all right for the Chicago Bears. So a lot going on right there as well. So I don't know. I don't know what the Bears do with Justin Fields. Do they try to trade him? Do they keep him? Or do they draft a quarterback in that first round? A lot of mock drafts that I've seen so far have the Bears, as we welcome Matt back to the stage.
I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, perfect.
Okay, good. We'll have to do this because I don't have any internet.
The old interwebs.
Oh boy.
Crazy technology. Yeah, so do the Bears draft a quarterback with those number one, number two picks? If they were to potentially keep those, that's a big question for them as well. So we'll keep an eye on that. And it does officially go to halftime in Germany right now, 7-3. The Colts lead the New England Patriots. What's up with the Patriots, by the way, Matt? Is Bill Belichick maybe on his way out? Rev some reports on that. What's going on with Mac Jones? By the way, Matt, I was just saying, going back to the Chicago Bears, what's up with Justin Fields? Do they keep him? Do they trade him? Do they draft a quarterback? A lot of weird things going on out there.
They have a lot of options with that whole scenario there. I want to say that they keep him, but gosh, if you have another opportunity to take a quarterback there, I mean, are you just, because there's always that old adage that you can never have too many quarterbacks. You can always trade those guys. But what if none of them are any good? What if you can't trade a Justin Fields? What if you can't trade the draft pick, or like, I don't know. I wouldn't be shocked if they. It's just like, do they believe in Badgett? Do they believe in this guy? I doubt it. So I don't know. That's a curious one to me. That number one pick is going to be used on a quarterback, and if the Bears are there, I want to say, yeah, you do take a quarterback there, but they might have a different coach. They might have a whole new different system if they do that. So that's something that's going to be really interesting to watch the Bears.
Yeah, I can't really see Eberflus staying another
Getting
season.
to pick another quarterback. Didn't he pick Fields? Yeah, it's not going to happen.
I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what they do potentially with the number one and number two picks to kick off the draft next year. That'll be crazy. All right, let's get through these games here really quickly, Matt. AFC matchup: Texans head into Cincinnati. Cincinnati once again sort of getting back on track, minus their first week. They have rattled off, Matt, since 4 in a row. Starting the season on a tough note. They get a big win versus Buffalo last week. Cincinnati 5.5-point favorite at home. Houston coming in 4-4. Excuse me, CJ Stroud having an incredible rookie season. 2,200 passing yards, 14 touchdowns, only 1 interception. Joe Burrow, 12 touchdowns, 4 picks, 1,800 yards. Joe Mixon, 3 touchdowns on the ground. Jamar Chase, 4 touchdowns through the air. Pierce is your leading rusher for the Texans. Collins is your leading receiver for the Texans. When it comes to fantasy outlook, everyone is healthy on Houston. On the offensive side, they got a few injuries on the defensive side. So if you, for whatever reason, have Houston's defense, who is only owned by 17% of ESPN fantasy leagues, so probably not too shabby there. By the way, this receiving core for Cincinnati is kind of banged up. Jamar Chase is questionable today. That he's a game time decision, and also T. Higgins is out. That came down a few days ago. So if you're a Joe Burrow owner, I don't know where you go. I think Joe Burrow is still a tier 1 fantasy starter, Matt. But with your receivers banged up, Jamar Chase, again, game time decision. Kind of sketchy there. I'm still going to go Cincinnati at home, but I wouldn't be shocked if Houston ran away with an upset here.
I'm going to go with that. I think Houston can pull it off, and with the injury to the receivers, sounds like it's going to be a heavy dose of Joe Mixon. So get those Joe Mixons in your lineups. I'm sure you're going to start him anyway, but for sure it sounds like a heavy dose of him. And I'm going to go with, like I said, I'm going to go with Houston. I just like the way that they're playing football and the way they're doing it. And I think Dameon Pierce might be out today. I did get that note. I am a Pierce owner, so I had to replace him. I think he might be out. I don't know if that came across, but that's I don't know if that's that big of an issue because he hasn't really contributed a whole lot as far as, the touchdowns and stuff like that. He's a part of the offense. He gets snaps. He gets the ball in certain situations, but Schultz is the biggest deal, is the biggest key to this offense. It's great to have that kind of a security blanket for a rookie quarterback. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Houston this game.
Yeah. By the way, Pierce is out. So a Pierce owner. So Pierce is out of this game. So, and you know what? To be honest with you. He had one good game, Matt. He only has one touchdown on the season. I think it was week 3 against Jacksonville. He got me 14 points. I don't know.
Yep. Yeah, me too. Me too. That was after that. That was it. Nothing since then.
Yeah. All been downhill, and not running downhill in a good way. He's been crap since. Crap. All right, your boys, Matt. The Green Bay Packers headed into Pittsburgh. Green Bay 3-5. Pittsburgh 5-3. Pittsburgh a narrow 3-point favorite at home in this one. Small hands Pickett, 1,400 yards through the air, 6 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Already a lot of questions surrounding if he's the guy long-term for Pittsburgh. Jordan Love, I don't know. It was kind of suspect for him coming into this season. I think he looked really good to start the season, man. I don't know if he's come back down to earth. Maybe you can speak on that. More 12 touchdowns, 8 interception. A.J. Dillon, 1 touchdown on the ground. Reed is your leading receiver for Packers, 3 touchdowns. Pickens, the receiver for Pittsburgh, 3 touchdowns. And Najee Harris, 382 yards, 2 touchdowns on the ground. Everyone's pretty much healthy for the Green Bay Packers on offense. And for the Pittsburgh Steelers, their Fairmouth is the tight end. He is on IR. That came down last week. And they have a couple guys banged up on defense. Adams, their defensive tackle, and Mika Fitzpatrick, their safety, are both out. Pittsburgh's defense is actually owned by 66% of ESPN leagues. I don't know if that's going to affect that much. I'm going to go, sorry, Matt, Pittsburgh at home in this one.
That's a good pick, and I would go there too. I'm a big like I said, the Packers, they have a lot of issues going forward this year, and Matt LaFleur has to start winning or has to start looking like he can win football games, because if not, then it's going to be a whole new regime next year. And I'm talking top to bottom, from coaching staff to quarterbacks and stuff like that, because it's just not working out. And Jordan Love looks like he looked like he was doing really well at the beginning of the season, like you said. I wouldn't say he's came back to earth. He's still doing the things he's doing. It's just that the running game's not as good anymore. The play calling is kind of off. The defense is injured, and there's a lot of Bakhtiari's out there. So there's a lot of things didn't go the way that they needed to go for the Packers this year. But I think I want to say the Packers get the win here because they need it. But that Pittsburgh defense is still good, and Mike Tomlin's not going to lose to Jordan Love and Matt LaFleur today. It's not. I just don't see it happening.
All right, battle of 3 and 5 teams is the Tennessee Titans, who now have a new quarterback, head into the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Buccaneers, a less than field goal favorite, 2.5-point favorite at home. Obviously, Ryan Tannehill is no more, as they have officially benched him, Matt. Benched him. And good on Tennessee for finally realizing that, Tannehill wasn't the answer. He was never going to be the long-term answer. So I like this move by Mike Vrabel. And maybe this is a job-saving move, by the way, for Mike Vrabel. I don't know if he was on the hot seat, Matt, but it seemed like Tennessee was kind of spiraling downhill quick. And I don't know if Mike Vrabel was going to go down with the ship, or they were going to give him a life raft to get the heck out of there. But Will Levis will be is it Levi's or Levy's?
Will Levis.
Oh, so neither of those, Levis.
I like Will Levis, though. I like that.
Yeah. Will he wear Levi's? I don't know. And by the way, last week, Matt, 4 touchdown passes. How about that?
That's crazy.
Yeah, in his debut. By the way, his ex-girlfriend probably kicking herself for looking so bored at the NFL draft. I don't know if you remember those memes, but those are recirculating with the starting of Levis. By the way, I don't know if this is going to rejuvenate DeAndre Hopkins. 3 touchdowns through the year. Derrick Henry, 600 yards, 4 touchdowns. Is it a quiet season for Derrick Henry, because he's now all of a sudden top 3 in rushing?
Yeah, it's a weird season with that dude. Big time. I'm a Derrick Henry owner in 2 leagues, and I've set him a couple weeks, but I feel like he's starting to get where you can get 12 to 15 points out of him. I don't know if those big 25, 30-point games are still there, but he's definitely big. He's consistent with those 10 to 12-point games that can get you a good RB2, even RB1 numbers, depending on what your wide receivers are. But yeah, I love Will Levis, what he's doing. Just throw the ball deep to DeAndre Hopkins. Just throw it to him, right? Just give him a chance to go catch it. You can go get it. So if that's the mindset, good, get it going. I don't know if he's going to come back to earth. That's yet to be seen. But give me the Titans in this game.
So I'm going to go opposite in this one. I think, by the way, Tampa lost I don't want to say a heartbreaker last week in Houston. I don't know if you saw that. A 2-point loss, 39-37 at Houston. Baker had a last second heave down the field, and it seemed like nobody jumped for the ball for Tampa. So I don't know what's going on there. White is your leading rusher, 3 touchdowns. Mike Evans having a good season, almost 600 yards, catching 5 touchdowns. Relatively healthy on offense for both teams. It says Tannehill's questionable, but who cares right now? He's no longer in the starting lineup. All right, you're going Tennessee. I am going Tampa Bay. I don't know if this is a surprise, but the 5-3 Cleveland Steamers head into the 7-2 Baltimore Ravens. Ravens having a really good season right now. Baltimore, by the way, just a less than touchdown favorite, 6.5-point favorite at home. Lamar, 1,900 passing yards, 9 touchdowns, along with what he does on the ground as well. And Massage Parlor Watson, 900 yards passing, 6 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Is he back, by the way? Did he get rubbed down? Is he good?
Yeah, he might have got some extra service there, and he's back in action. I mean, good night, 11. Too soon.
Everyone relatively healthy for both teams. David Bell and Marquise Goodwin are out, 2 receivers for the Cleveland Browns. Amari Cooper, again, I don't know if this is a quiet season, but 600 yards receiving, 2 touchdowns. Ford, since the injury to Nick Chubb, I don't know if he's taken the reins, so to speak. We haven't really seen much from Kareem Hunt either, so I don't know where you're going to look if you're any of these owners for Cleveland. And I mentioned the season by Lamar. Gus Edwards, 7 touchdowns through through the first few weeks here through 9 games for the Baltimore Ravens. Is he out, by the way? Or
Who's
is it
that?
the other guy who is out? Edwards.
I think he's man. I think he's in. I think he's in.
Okay.
But those running
Oh,
backs like
I'm thinking of Dobbins.
Yeah, Dobbins. I know he's out, but those running backs, like they because I was seeing some stuff on Justice Hill being maybe a sneaky pickup today too with that backfield. But yeah, those running backs they go up and down, but it's all about Lamar, isn't it? I mean, with that whole with the running game and throwing today might be a tough day because that Cleveland defense is pretty freaking good. They've been really good these past couple of weeks on and I think I'm going to go with Baltimore still, but it's going to be a close, ugly game. I don't think it's going to be a high scoring game at all, but I'm going to go Baltimore.
Yeah, Mark Andrews, by the way, 5 touchdowns is your leading receiver for the Baltimore Ravens. All right, the 5-3 San Francisco 49ers head into the 6-2 Jacksonville Jaguars. San Francisco a 3-point favorite on the road as San Francisco started the season 5-0. Matt have since lost 3 in a row. Cleveland, Minnesota, Cincinnati. And Cleveland was close. Minnesota was relatively close. And Cincinnati was not close as they lost that one 31-17. Obviously, Mr. Relevant Brock Purdy, 2,000 yards passing, 12 touchdowns, 5 picks. Run CMC, 662 yards on the ground, 9 touchdowns right now for Christian McCaffrey. And obviously kind of banged up a little bit. He is not on the injured report, so I'm assuming he's good to go. I'll double check that. Brandon Ayuk is your leading receiver for the 49ers. Trevor Lawrence having a good season, 9 touchdowns, 4 picks. ETN Jr., 7 touchdowns on the ground. Christian Captain Kirk is your leading receiver for the Jacksonville Jaguars. If you're wondering, Zay Jones is out. Everyone relatively healthy on offenses for both of these teams. Matt, does San Francisco get back on track, or does Jacksonville continue their winning ways as they have rattled off, Matt, 5 in a row?
Mm-hmm. And they're doing it with defense, man. That defense is pretty good, and I think it's going to be pretty good today. I don't know if Deebo Samuel is going to have a big impact today. He's been injured through this kind of stretch of games where San Francisco hasn't been able to do the things they wanted to do offensively. If he gets in and plays as a good, that'll give him a good boost. But it's you're looking at Brock Purdy. Is he Mr. Irrelevant, or is he the guy that they were hoping that he was going to be, and that's why they got rid of Trey Lance? Or is San Francisco looking for an excuse to put Sam Darnold in? I think that excuse was a couple games ago, but they didn't choose to do that. So, give me Jacksonville in this game, because I think Jacksonville is the hotter team, and their streak is going to continue. Both 2 streaks are going to continue today. Jacksonville is going to continue winning, and San Francisco is going to continue losing, because they got a quarterback problem. I really do think that they have a quarterback problem there in San Francisco.
Yeah, Christian, by the way, is healthy as can be. By the way, week 4, he had 49 fantasy points. That is absolutely crazy. Last week they were on a bye week, but the week before that, even against Cincinnati in the loss, he had 29 fantasy points. It says him and Deebo are healthy.
I hope. Yep.
Deebo against Cincinnati only got 1 fantasy point ESPN league. So it says they're both healthy, though. I think San Francisco gets back on track, man. I don't want to say shocks Jacksonville on the road, but I think they get the dub in Florida. All right, 2 NFC teams going at it as the 5-4 New Orleans Saints head into the 5-4 Minnesota Vikings. Obviously, Kirk Cousins is out for the Vikings with an Achilles injury. How about Josh Dobbs, Matt, coming over from Arizona, and then Minnesota's God knows who got hurt minutes into the game, so they thrust Josh Dobbs into the game, and he leads the Minnesota Vikings to victory last week over the Atlanta Falcons, 31-28. Minnesota's rattled off 4 in a row, by the way. After starting the season 1-4, they have won 4 in a row. Derek Carr, still weird to see him in New Orleans, 2,100 yards, 10 touchdowns, 4 picks. Alvin Kamara, 2 touchdowns. And the snowman, Olaf, 2 touchdowns, is your leading receiver for the Saints. Justin Jefferson still on IR, so he's still their leading receiver. Mattinson, who has not even seen the end zone, by the way, and of course, Kirk Cousins is out. T.J. Hawkinson is questionable, and K.J. Osborne is questionable. They're both game time decisions for the Vikings, Matt. And obviously, just mentioned it was Jaron Hall, by the way, who got hurt last week, the rookie quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings. This is a coin flip game for me. New Orleans is a 3-point favorite on the road. And normally at coin flip games, they go with the home team, Matt, but I think New Orleans is slightly better than Atlanta, who Minnesota was able to squeak by last week. I'm going to go, I don't know if this is a shocker, but I'm going to go with New Orleans on the road.
New Orleans is kind of a funny team this year. Like, nobody was really giving them a shot and looking at them to be where they are. Kamara was suspended for the first 3-4 games of the season. I can't remember exactly which one it was. I know he was suspended though. I think it was 3 games. And then you get the Derek Carr was injured for a couple of those games, and they're still 5-3. So that's one of those things where it's like, who is this team and what are they doing? How are they doing it? Josh Dobbs just comes in and drawing stuff up in the yard there off on the sidelines. That's what he was literally doing. I was reading that that's what he literally did, and comes in and has a comeback win. But yeah, I got New Orleans in this game just because I don't know exactly where Dobbs is going to be and how that offense is going to be. I feel like New Orleans is a better football team and a team that we might have to start really looking at is weirdly being a competitor in the NFC.
There you go. All right, the aforementioned Atlanta Falcons 4-5 head into the 1-8. By the way, we kind of mentioned the drafting pecking order, whatever, for the Chicago Bears, Matt. If they do decide to take a quarterback with that first pick or second pick, it reminds me a lot of Arizona, man. Remember they drafted Josh Rosen. They're like, screw this guy. And then they drafted Kyler Murray. And then Kyler Murray, by the way, the new Call of Duty came out Friday, man. So I don't know how locked in Kyler Murray is going to be.
Exactly.
But Atlanta is 2.5-point favorites on the road. Arizona 1-8. And so Desmond Ridder, 1,700 yards, 6 touchdowns, 6 picks. Is he the long-term answer in Atlanta? I think they got to challenge that a little bit. Robinson, again, still 1 touchdown in the air, or on the ground, excuse me. London, 2 touchdowns through the air. And the guy that they kind of threw in there last week, Matt, by the guy of Clayton Tune, played last week, Matt, and he had 62 yards and 2 interceptions. Not a good start. Not a good start, as the Arizona Cardinals fell last week 27-0 against the Cleveland Browns. But Kyler Murray is back. He's expected to start today, Matt. He's only owned – this might be the lowest percentage I've ever seen him own, Matt. 46% by ESPN Fantasy Leagues. Maybe that'll go up if he has a good day today. Connor on the ground, 2 touchdowns. Hollywood Brown, 4 touchdowns through the air. Relatively healthy. Swame, Stump the Schwab, tight end for Arizona is questionable. And James Conner, who I just mentioned, is a game-time decision, Matt. He is questionable today as well. Everybody kind of relatively healthy for the Falcons. You know what, Matt? How about this? Kyler Murray's return. They're going to be pumped up. I'm going to go with Arizona at home.
That's a pick, dude. That is a pick. I don't know what Arizona's doing. Their one win was against the Cowboys, and it was a pretty big win, and it sent shockwaves to the Cowboys organization, media. Everybody in the America's team world is still reeling from what Arizona did to the Cowboys, but since then they haven't done really anything. We don't know what Michael Scott Gannon is doing over there. Is he, trying to, world's best boss, trying to build up, he's having everybody in the conference room, meetings, pizza parties, birthday, fireworks, all this stuff going on there. And I don't know what's going on. It's crazy to even think, are they preparing for the draft? Are they tanking? Are they trying to put a good product out on the field? There's nothing that gives me that makes me think that. So yeah, I'm going to go Atlanta and with this one. And it's just, I don't know what Arizona is going to be in the next couple seasons because they have a problem at quarterback. We don't know if Kyler Murray's going to do it, or if he's going to retire to be a Twitch streamer. So we don't know exactly what's going on there yet.
Hey, we just started an esports podcast, so if he wants to jump ship,
we got a spot. We got it's there. You know,
we have a roster opening for Kyler Murray. All right, one of those mid-afternoon games. The 6-2 Detroit Lions head into the 4-4 Los Angeles. I almost said Clippers. Los Angeles, because they're the same acronym.
Very similar. Very similar.
LAC is what. So the Los Angeles Chargers. Jared Goff having a good season, 2,100 yards, 12 touchdowns, 5 picks. The rookie Gibbs, 2 touchdowns on the ground. And the Sun God, Amon-Ra St. Brown, 3 touchdowns through the air. Justin Herbert, decent season for I don't want to say lackluster, halfway through the season for the Chargers. 2,000 yards, 13 touchdowns, 4 picks. Kelly is your leading rusher. Eckler is healthy, so we'll see if that changes within the next couple of weeks. And, of course, Keenan Allen, 4 touchdowns through the air for the Los Angeles Chargers. Not much on the injury report for offense for either team. Donovan Peoples-Jones is questionable, the wide receiver for the Detroit Lions. He is a game-time decision. So besides that, everyone relatively healthy. Detroit, Matt, 3-point favorite on the road. And why not, Matt? The kneecap biters. I'm going to go with them on the road.
Me too. I got Detroit. The Chargers are dog water. I don't know how season after season people look at them as they're going to be good this year. They're going to be good. The Chargers, like you said, they're the Los Angeles team that starts with a C. And what is usually our Los Angeles team that starts with a C? Crappy. They suck. They're not good. And the same thing with the Chargers. The AFC West outside of Kansas City sucks in general. It's a dog butt division. It's crazy that this was looked at as one of the best divisions just a season ago. And this is where we are. Give me Detroit all day long. Detroit. Bear may be a good NFL quarterback, but he's not the guy. He's not a guy that just wrong again, Chargers. Wrong again.
Mama's wrong again. All right, the division rival. I don't know how much this is going to play a factor, but the 2-7 New York Football Giants head into the aforementioned Dallas Cowboys, who are 5-3. Dallas. This is a big spread, Matt. 17.5-point favorites at home in this one. Obviously, Daniel Jones is a big question mark for the New York Giants. He is out, man. I don't know who they go with. Tyrod Taylor's on the IR. This team is a mess right now. It's in shambles. I feel bad.
Danny DeVito's playing quarterback.
Yeah. Is it DeVito?
Yep.
All right. So It's Always Sunny in New York is playing. I don't know where you go if you're Brian Daboll. Matt went from coach of the year last year
right.
trying to just hold together the pieces, Matt. This is just excuse me, crazy. Saquon Barkley has kind of, I don't want to say breaking away from the pack, but he's kind of gotten his season back on track after a rocky start, holding out, getting that 1-year deal. He's been battling injuries all career long, 500 yards on the ground. Darren Waller was just put on the IR. He was the Cowboys' leading receiver. I don't even know who they throw the ball to anymore. Paris Campbell is questionable. It's just a mess right there. Dakota Rain, Prescott, 2,000 yards through the air, 13 touchdowns, 5 picks. Tony Pollard, again, maybe an underwhelming Tony Pollard after the departure of Ezekiel Elliott, and then CeeDee Lamb, 3 touchdowns through the air. I'm going to go – I don't know if I'm going to take that 17.5-point, Matt, but I think Dallas definitely gets it done at home.
Dallas better win today because I am rooting for chaos. I am rooting for the Giants to win so I can see everybody, all these Dallas Cowboys, everybody's head explode because this will send the Cowboys into the depths if you lose to this New York Giants team. So I am rooting for chaos, but I think the Cowboys will win this game. I'm hoping for a Tony Pollard blow up game because Lord knows that the Tony Pollard owners need one. Brand, there's just so many things with the Cowboys that could be, but they're not in the world of fantasy football in particular. Brandon Cooks could be something special, but he's not. CeeDee Lamb, 3 touchdowns. Are you freaking kidding me? Like it's so hard to look at a Mike McCarthy play called offense and really have a lot of confidence in those guys. But give me Dallas. But I'm rooting for the chaos. I am.
Yeah, you got to have chaos.
Gotta have it.
Right? All right, another NFC battle here as the 4-5 Washington Commanders head into the 5-3 Seattle Seahawks. Seattle, a 6-point favorite at home. Sam Howell, 2,400 yards, man. He's one of your top 5 passers, by the way, in the NFL. 14 touchdowns, 9 picks. They just traded away, by the way, their 2 best defensive players in I forgot what the dude's name who went to San Francisco, but they also traded Montez Sweat to Chicago. I don't know what Chicago's doing with that trade, by the way. And then
they signed him too, did they?
Yeah, and then they proceeded to give him a contract extension.
Yeah, Chase Young went to San Francisco.
Chase Young, that's right, yeah. And then, of course, Robinson, 5 touchdowns on the ground. Terry McLaurin, 2 touchdowns through the air. Geno Smith, 1,800 yards and 9 touchdowns, 7 picks. Walker on the ground, 6 touchdowns. He's a good fantasy running back right now. And, of course, DK. I'm a DK owner, Matt. I don't know if I'm regarding that decision, but 2 touchdowns through the air for him. Curtis Samuel is the only guy on the Washington injury report, Matt. Questionable game time decision, and everyone healthy. DJ Dallas is questionable for Seattle, and Min Kandish is questionable for the Seattle Seahawks as well. Why not, Matt? Seattle at home. Kind of, I don't want to say an easy pick. This might be a close game, field goal type game, but I'm going to go with Seattle at home.
Yeah, give me the same thing, Seattle. Washington, what they have going there with Sam Howell, the defense. I know they traded away, but they're going to rebuild that. And then it's all indications they're going to get rid of Riviera. But Washington could be pretty good in the next couple of years if they get the right guy in there, the right coach. But give me Seattle today, baby.
Good old Riverboat Ron, huh?
Riverboat Gambler.
Maybe no more. All right, the Sunday night game, Matt, is a fantastic one as the 4-4 New York Jets go into the 4-5. That was dripping with sarcasm, by the way. 4-5 Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders, although they played hard for Dameon Pierce last week against the New York Football Giants, consequently, Pierce used to be a linebacker for the New York Giants. Won a Super Bowl there, by the way. Jets still hanging around. I don't know if – I mean, Zach Wilson is just keeping them afloat somehow, Matt, somehow, some way. I don't know if he's just – I don't know if it's like the Major League, Matt, where they have a picture of Zach Wilson's mom in the locker room and then they start peeling away those stickers, Matt. I don't know if that situation is happening.
Maybe.
But they're still getting – I don't know if you saw this too, Matt, but everyone's buzzing about –
oh, God.
They got killed last week, by the way, by the Chargers, 27-6. Right. Everyone's buzzing about your homeboy, Aaron. Not in a boot, not on crutches, throwing passes. Is this guy a wizard? What is this?
He's built different. He's built different. That's
and at his age too, by the way.
This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. Like the same year, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if he's got some bamboo or baboon ligaments like attached there. I don't know if he went that route, but and I'm not gonna. I'm at the. I'll believe it when I see it. But there's nothing. The Jets are holding on to hope that they can stay afloat. And then this guy, this crazy number 8's gonna come in and lead them to the Super Bowl after tearing his Achilles.
You know what? I wouldn't even be shocked if that happened.
At this point, me neither. Like I'm waiting to see it. I don't want to say it's not. This is crazy, but I want to see it happen. But yeah, in this game, give me the Jets. I want to take the Raiders, but then I would be siding with the Raiders, and we never do that, right, Mike?
Yeah.
Like we don't do that. So give me the Jets in this situation.
It's been a long time since I seen not only are the Jets favored on the road, 1-point favorite. It's been a while since I've seen a
That's
1
crazy.
point since I've seen a 1-point favorite on the road.
And did you see too, Mike, real quick? They because somebody just I think it was the Rams just signed Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
But he asked.
What is that point? What is that? What is that? I thought
They
Stafford was done.
cut Rippon. Do you see they cut Rippon? Rippon signed with Seattle, so I guess they needed somebody there for Stafford. I don't know, but he went to the Jets.
Seattle.
Went to the Jets. Say, hey, you need my services, and they declined him because they got number 8 coming back
the
in a couple
bionic
weeks, baby.
Yeah, that bionic man drinking goat urine. I guess is that what it helps?
He's built different. That dude's built. No,
Yeah.
that dude's built different. He's only immunized. That's all he is.
See all that talk about non-immunization. Look at can't. What that? You're next, Kirk Cousins. Can you come back now?
Come on, Kurt. You go. Let's go.
Yeah, Aaron showing you up. Yeah, I'm gonna go with who'd you pick?
The Jets.
Okay. You know what?
I want to see more. I want to see more of that cardboard cutout of Zach Wilson's mom. We got to get more dubs so we can take him off.
Yeah, I don't know if Zach Wilson's helping peel those off. He might be just sitting in his locker, Matt, with his headphones on. Like, you guys can do that. I'm not going to.
You guys are freaks.
Yeah, you can get out of here, man. We wear caps and sleeves. Who's the Raiders quarterback now, by the way?
Oh,
Is it Matt Glennon? Is he still around?
No, the neck. No way. Who is their quarterback? It was.
Your research all reaction, by the way. Here.
Yeah, I don't know. I want to say it was like I don't know.
I'm trying to look it up. Jimmy Galapagos Islands. He was doomed from the start, Matt.
They're talking about.
By the way, it's Aiden O'Connor. Aiden O'Connell. Excuse me.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Aiden.
Their backup. I was close though. Their backup is Brian Hoyer, who kind of looks like Matt Glennon. Let's face it.
Yeah.
They're both bald. They both have neck beards.
Yep.
So, all right.
That Matt Glennon was a good. He was built different.
Yeah,
that dude, Mike Glennon, was built different.
He had giraffe parts in him. I don't know. But,
that dude was built different.
Literally built by someone in a lab somewhere. All right, I'm going to flip the script, Matt. I'm going to go with the Raiders at home. How about that?
Oh boy,
I'm going against all religion here and go with the Raiders at home. All right, the Monday night matchup here, kind of close to home, obviously, as the 3-5 Denver Broncos heading into the 5-4 Buffalo Bills. Broncos, Matt, 2 in a row. Green Bay and then Kansas City. They broke the 16-game losing streak against the Kansas City Taylor Swifts before the bye week. They were in a bye week last week. Buffalo, I kind of mention this every time we talk about Buffalo, Matt. Is their window closing? Is this kind of the last hoorah for the Buffalo Bills? I don't know. Josh Allen is still going to do Josh Allen things, Matt. 2,400 yards passing, 18 touchdowns, 9 picks. Cook is your leading rusher. And, of course, Stephon Diggs, 7 touchdowns through the air. Cortland Sutton for the Broncos, Matt. I don't know if it's a quiet 6 touchdowns, but I did not realize he had that many. Yeah. Javonte Williams, still your leading rusher. He has not seen the end zone yet this season. And, of course, Russell Wilson having an okay year, 1,600 yards passing, 16 touchdowns, only 4 interceptions. So doing good there. If you're wondering, Josh Allen is owned by 98% of ESPN. I don't know how it's not 100. I don't know why.
Probably 8-team or 16-team leagues or something like that where they don't.
Yeah. So
but
Josh
still,
Allen,
that's crazy. He's not owned in those leagues too.
Yeah. So he's only owned by 98% of ESPN leagues. Russell Wilson, Matt, 78% of ESPN fantasy leagues. I honestly thought that number may have been lower. Denver, relatively healthy. Only one person on the injury report today, man. That's Greg Dulcich, who is on the IR anyway. And then for the Buffalo Bills, everyone's on defense. Micah Hyde is out. Christian Benford is out, and Terry Bernard is questionable, their linebacker. All those came down through the wire yesterday. Buffalo at home, Matt. It's hard to go against Buffalo at home, although they've been okay at home, Matt. I mean, their last home loss was against Jacksonville way back at the start of October. I want to hear your thoughts first, Matt, before I make my pick.
I want to go Denver here because they're putting some things together, and I want to see more of it. And you're coming out of a bye week. Sean Payton should have these guys ready to go, especially like you want to see you have a coach here that puts you in a position that prepares these guys out of bye weeks that can do that. You have that type of coach that you should be coming into these games looking at them like you're going to win. Traditionally, the Broncos never do good. They don't do well playing in Buffalo. Good thing it's a Monday night game, because if it was like a Sunday game, they'd be playing here in an hour or so, and we know that that's not good for them. But it's Buffalo still. It's Josh Allen. You have the just what Buffalo does, the defense and all that stuff there to go against. So this one's really, really tough for me because I want to go the Broncos. And I think I'm going to go the Broncos. And I think it's going to be, but they have to make it like a mucked up game. They have to really, it's got to be like a 17 to 16 type of situation. And for them to have a chance, if it's a high scoring game, I don't know if they're going to keep up with them. You're going to put a lot on Russell Wilson to keep up. And Josh Allen can do that. So if the Broncos can make it a low scoring game, I think they can win. But if it's a high scoring game, I don't know. I don't think they can keep up with Buffalo. So, but I'm going to go with Denver in a low scoring game. But like my mind wants me to go different. But I think if the Broncos can get this game, they have three. What's that? 3 wins in a row. That's pretty good for them going forward.
Right. And it's supposed to be okay weather-wise, 43 degrees and cloudy by game time, Matt. So you said muck it up. If this is going to be a down and dirty type game, obviously that's when the defenses kind of have to play their part. But like you said, if it's a 17 to 16 game, obviously both defenses are doing their part. Although that's kind of right around the Broncos' wheelhouse is scoring right around 17 points a game anyway. So
right.
Just to be different, Matt, I'm going to go with Buffalo at home. It wouldn't shock me if somehow, some way, Denver gets a win on the road. But, I don't want to say the bye week is going to hurt their momentum, Matt, because, you get a win against Green Bay. You get a huge division game. Obviously, snaps a 8-year losing.
It was a good win, too. Good win.
8, and again, say what you will, Patrick Mahomes sick, whatever, Taylor Swift not being there. It could have been a whole different game if T Swift was in the building because they're undefeated with her.
Yeah, it could have been. It could have been. Yeah, that's how I'm giving the benefit that you have one of those coaches that Sean Payton's going to have these guys ready to go. That what VJ has done in these last 3-4 weeks to get this defense right after giving up 72 points. That's what I want to look at and say they're going to be prepared going forward into this game. So if they can make it that kind of a game, that defensive game, which they could, Stephon Diggs isn't doing the things that he has done in the past. It's all running with Josh Allen. So, I mean, I think if that they can slow that down and stop that, they can pull off an upset. And that's 2 back-to-back wins over AFC, championship contending teams.
Yeah.
Favorites, yes. So that's pretty good for a team like Denver that needs to learn how to start winning again and build that culture back up.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see. And again, that's the Monday night game. If you're wondering, the NFL Frankfurt games, Gluten Taben, Colts still lead that one 7-3 with just over 12 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Yeah, I'm not waking up at 7:30. Well, I did wake up at 7:30, but I'm not waking up early to watch the Colts and Patriots in Germany. Oh, wait a minute. Patriots just kicked a field goal. 7-6.
Oh boy. Hey, do you think that Josh McDaniels will be the head coach of the New England Patriots next season?
If not, he will be back as some sort of
Something.
some capacity.
At this point, there's no team in the NFL that can give that guy an opportunity at head coach again. No point. There's no team.
I mean,
outside of New England, outside of the Patriots.
The pumpkin pie haircutted freak in Vegas, that guy, He's an
a-hole, man.
People were actually cheering for him though when he fired Hurricane Josh.
Right.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy that dude got like holy. And the Colts, they have to be ecstatic that everything went down with the way they did, and they didn't have to experience the hurricane.
Yeah, and then Devontae Adams, who again is always pissed off, it seems, he kind of changed his tune and said he wants to run through a brick wall for Pierce. So never heard him say that about anybody.
Right. And there was somebody talking to him. I remember they ran into him at a basketball game.
Yeah, it was a ref.
It was a ref, right? Yeah, that's right. You've seen that too. And he goes, "Hey, we're better now. We're better now. We're going to get there."
Yeah, he said the vibe's different.
The vibe's different, right? You saw that too, yeah. So that says something, man. That's crazy. That says something.
Yeah, and it seems like Pierce is, and I like what he said. I saw his press conference afterward. He said he was asked like why would, I guess somebody noticed that there's a whole crap ton of people on the Raiders sideline, and he has all of the practice squad members on the side. Right. He said they're a part of the team. They're in the meetings every week. They're out there on the practice field every week. Why shouldn't they be on the field during the game? I kind of like that.
It should be, as it should be, yeah. And that's what Mark Davis wanted. He wanted that guy in there. And from everything that I've read or seen about that, heard about that situation, McDaniels was just, everybody wanted him out. Like it was like team decision, and Mark Davis saw that. So that's interesting. Would Al Davis ever done something like that? I don't know. Maybe not. Probably. Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, like father, like son.
Yeah. Just win, baby. Just win.
Yeah, and I don't know if this is going to turn the Raider season around. I mean, they're still kind of hanging around 4-5. It's not like they're completely out of it.
Right.
I mean, were you surprised by though a mid-season firing at 3-5? I mean, I don't know.
Not with the way not with them. Not with the way that all that has been going. It's looking like it was inevitable that he was going to get fired. The thing that they have now is what they should do. Well, right now they should do what it looks like is keep this guy Antonio Pierce as your head coach.
I said don't do what you did earlier. Sorry, Dameon Pierce is the running back for the Texans who is out. Yeah, Antonio Pierce. I said Dameon
Antonio
when I was talking about the Raiders. It's Antonio Pierce.
Antonio Pierce, right? And do you remember with the Raiders? They should have did this with the special teams guy, Pistachio. It's not.
They should never. Yeah, they should never.
They shouldn't have got rid of him.
Yeah.
He's over there in Green Bay now, but they should have never got rid of him. They should do this with Antonio Pierce. They should keep him here and let him have a shot at being the head coach here. That's what they should do.
Yeah, but the bright lights of Vegas is going to.
It's tough.
It's going to call the biggest name out there. I guess I don't know.
Jim Harbaugh? What? No.
Well, we didn't get a chance to get into college football, but speaking of Michigan, they get a big win over Penn State, 24.
An emotional win, Mike. The guy was crying at the end. Give me a freaking break.
Yeah, this one's for you, Jim.
What are we doing here?
All right, number 20
for you, Jim.
Number 22, Iowa gets a shutout over Rutgers. Purdue gets a win. Ohio State remains number 1. They get a big win over Michigan State. 38-3 as well. The poor Air Force Falcons, Matt, they go down.
They
go down yesterday.
After that game against Army, I guess that's it. That's a wrap.
Oregon gets a win. North Carolina gets a win. Slim's out of win. I thought this was I thought I was looking at basketball scores, Matt, because it said number 24 North Carolina over Duke's unranked in football, but over Duke. And I don't know if you saw Duke basketball go down by Arizona.
Yeah, Arizona
indoor, man.
Yep. That's one of the biggest losses, that they've had in a while, and one of the biggest upsets or something like that. Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah. Coach K over there saying
Duke just got Cooper Flagg to commit. If you don't know who Cooper Flagg is, he's probably one of the best basketball players in the world at like 18 and under.
There you go. Texas squeaks out a win against Texas Christian, 29-26. Oklahoma gets a big win, 59-20. Georgia crushes Ole Miss, Matt.
Smashed them.
52. I was going to say 62-17.
A
But that
top
was
10 team. A top 10 team. They smashed them.
yes, 52-17. 62-17 was the score that Oregon State put on Stanford. I just mentioned Iowa. Oklahoma State gets upset by UCF, man. Central Florida, how about them? 45-3 against the top 15 team. Missouri, number 14, beats number 13 Tennessee 36-7. Washington beats number 18 Utah 35-28. Florida State squeaks out a win against Miami. Kansas State 59-25. Tulane, where the hell they come from?
The
They
Green
get-
Wave, baby.
Yeah, 23. They're ranked 23rd. 24-22 victory. Kansas goes down to Texas Tech, Matt. 16-13. Alabama 49-21 over Kentucky, and of course number 21 Arizona with a walk-off field goal, Matt, against Prime.
Yep.
Oh, that was fun while it lasted, huh?
Man, it's tough. It's tough when, and that's what's happening right now. Is a lot of people can't handle all the big tough talk in the beginning when you're winning, and then now when you start losing and losing the way you're losing, you're going to get a lot of blowback from. Yeah, well, what about this? What it's that, and that's what's happening. So yeah, it's fun while it lasted.
All right. Well, that is your top 25 scoreboard through college football over the weekend. So there you go. That's going to do it for us here on the Wheelhouse. Again, make sure you go to all socials, Facebook, X going to give it to you. Like and subscribe to YouTube channel, 5280 Sports Radio, on Instagram as well, Elevation 5280 Radio. Give Matt a follow on Insta, House Dad Matt. You can give me a follow if you want. I post zero things. I am at Sport Junkie 25. Again, on Twitter, formerly known, or X is formerly known as Twitter, at 5280 Sports Radio, at Matt Mascarenas1. I'm at Michael Spillin. And again, subscribe to a YouTube channel, which is the same as X, at 5280 Sports Radio. Head to e5280sports.com or our Spotify page as well, wherever you get your podcast, to check out everything that's dropping, Matt. So there you go.
Drop it like it's hot, y'all.
Yeah, you got to drop it like it's hot. But that's going to do it for us here on the Wheelhouse. For Matt Mascarenas, I am Michael Spill. We will talk to you next week.